camera off. Might be a little bit of a glare because of the sunlight and my light in the living room. But I hope you can see me. We have a couple of people that were already waiting in the live stream, so thank you so much for waiting. And give me just a second here. Hey Trey, can you come here for a second, my love? Okay. I'm getting feedback. Sorry. Okay, there, that's what I needed. Is it on 0?
Yeah, it's on 0.
Okay. Okay, hang on just a second, guys. Give me just a moment here. Let me start. I'm gonna wait for some people to join. Wait for some more people to join. I'm covering a lot of information today, so. Hi. Hi there. Welcome in, Raina. Hi. I'm covering a lot of stuff today. I hope everybody's doing well. It is extremely hot here in the Carolinas. Today was 100 degrees. So that's very, very hot. One second here. All right, so of course, as you saw, we're going to be talking about emergency preparedness and a disaster supply kit. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I came up with this topic. My husband and I were talking yesterday. I went live yesterday. My husband and I were talking yesterday, and he was trying to log on to his account, his bank account. And then he tried to call customer service. Well, he couldn't get through, and he's like, well, baby, do I have the right number? And so there's a reason why I'm saying this, telling the story, the bank is Navy Federal. And so as he called, he couldn't get through, and he tried to log on to his account. He couldn't see his bank account information. And I had the thought, what if something happened and we couldn't access our bank accounts or anything? What do we do? Which is the reason why I came up with the topic. So really quickly here, I don't have my notebook, but I do have this. It's laminated, as you can see. The date on this is January 8th, 2020. It was right before the pandemic. And that's the reason why the Lord put it in my spirit just to come on live and talk about it, because it's something that we have to talk about. Let me put this in Do Not Disturb. Hang on one second. Okay. And so that's why we're here today. So a few things on my list. I do have some things that I am going to be showing you what we've been doing. We're not preppers per se, but we have been putting emergency things together. So that's my daughter coming in. The first thing on my list is, when you're at home, I wrote down you have to have 2 emergency exit maps. So know what windows are the ones you have to go out, things to consider, someone breaking in, or how to get out in case of a fire. You would sketch your home, if you can, on paper, and give one to your children. So you need at least 2 places or 2 ways to get out of your home in case a disaster strikes. Now, I know this may sound a little over top, but if you are living and breathing, of course you see the news and things like that that's happening around us. We are currently in WAR, whether people realize that or not. And so the conversation my husband and I had yesterday prompt this live stream. Number 2 is you get a safe location to meet in case of emergency. So example, your neighbors. What that looks like if you have small children. Our son is 12, and then we have other children as well. But the 12-year-old, our little guy, we would maybe a neighbor or someone in case of an emergency. If we had to just get out and you didn't really have time to think about it, we can do a neighbor. So your child should be able to see the emergency place and or safe spot from your home, and you need more than one place. Now this is serious. That's why I said I'm sharing this with you guys today. Grab and go pack. Each member in your household should have essentials. What I need to live and survive. They're non-perishable items. The non-perishable items, we know non-perishable items can be, you can pack nuts, or you can do something like the protein bars. Those kind of things are considered non-perishable items. And number 4 is a durable backpack. It cannot be too heavy and easier enough for little children to carry. You may have to walk a long distance. Each member of your house should have their own backpack. So I'm going to show you the backpacks that we purchased. Well, I purchased it from Walmart. That's where I got the backpack. So let me grab that really quickly here. Give me just a second. Okay, so this is a backpack. Just a regular backpack that I purchased from Walmart. Except I said it's regular, but it's really not regular. These have a straw. So you can actually put water in it if you have to hike or something like that. It has different departments in it. Also, if you have children, your children's backpack shouldn't look like yours. And that just means if they're little kids, you can pack toys in there, the non-perishable items, things that they can eat. But this backpack, I believe, from Walmart, the brand is Ozark Trail. It's outdoor equipment. So these are great because they're sturdy, and they're maybe $20 at Walmart. I don't know, the price may have changed, but I kind of got a lot of stuff. I didn't bring everything out, but this is one of the backpacks I wanted to show you. And what else do we have? So we talked about backpacks. I made a little note here because FEMA recommends that one person has 1 gallon of drinking water per day. Now I know that's a lot of water, but what a gallon of drinking water may look like is maybe 6 to 8 bottles of water for each person. And then Walmart also have the little wagons that you can buy. I see people carry those if they're like in a profession. Give me 1 second because it looks like there's a glare. So give me just a second. Is that better? Because I see just a slight glare. It's still a glare on my face. I think it's because the sun is going down here soon. So I'm sorry if you can't really see me that well. So 6 to 8 bottles of water for each person, and you can get a wagon. Those wagons at Walmart, they don't cost a whole lot. You can purchase one of those and put your stuff on it. You need to pack at least a 3-day survival. So 3 days you can walk, essentially. Now that's a lot of water to carry. So we're praying that we won't have to have a wagon, but if we do, then it is what it is. You just get you a wagon and you prepare and do what you have to do. Hand washing and drinking. Most important things are water, shelter, and food. Those are the most important things. Let me move my chair up. My goodness, the sun won't let me be great today. If you're still here, if you can put some hearts in the chat to let me know that you're still here, or send me some floating hearts, the little red hearts. Thank you so much. So you guys are still watching. Okay, so reiterate, the most important things are water, shelter, and food. Those are the essential things that of course we need to survive. So I made a list of some of the things that you can pack in your backpack. Now again, this list is what I did pre-pandemic. This was January 8th, 2020. I don't know why the Lord has me going over it now, but I'm just gonna roll with it. So A is protein, beef jerky, nuts, seeds, dried fruit. Those are good because I couldn't think of them initially, but I wrote them down here. If you want to do canned meat like chicken and salmon. C, socks, underwear, several layers of clothes, shirts, a waterproof jacket and hat, waterproof boots, jeans, comfy walking shoes, because you don't want to be out like myself. I'm a girly girl. Don't want to be out in the wilderness trying to be cute because we don't have time for that, like my husband would say. We'll have time to be cute, Nicole. Grab you some sneakers or some Tims or whatever you have and let's go. Probably not Tims though, because Tims are a little heavy. And then if you're a woman, of course, make sure that you have your feminine products. Also, tarp. Now my husband, he's good. He's Paul Bunyan, so he's fine with this stuff. A tarp, or a lightweight tent. We don't have a lightweight tent just yet, but we do have tarp. I didn't bring that out, but we do have some of that. Or you can just do the large plastic. I know if you go to the painting store, Sherwin-Williams or somewhere like that, they do have the big rolls, the really big rolls of plastic that you can roll out and use that for tarp. Waterproof matches. I don't think we have waterproof matches. No, we don't have waterproof matches, but that's a good one to add. Bleach, disinfectant water, flashlight, extra batteries, and toilet paper. That's stuff that you would have to pack as well. So I have this. This is a rechargeable, waterproof, flameless lighter and LED flashlight. It does everything. If you can see it, this does everything. So we have a few of these. This is just one of the few that I have. I also have the emergency ponchos. Now guess where I got these from? I purchased these from, I believe it was Dollar Tree, and they were about $1. So I just got a handful of them and threw them in the shopping cart. And this is stuff that you pack over time. This is not stuff that you try to get all at once. It's stuff that you pack over time. So I have a lot of these, but you can, here it says you can find some at Walmart too if you look at the bottom. So you go to walmart.com and you just look for emergency ponchos and they'll pull up there. Now I have something else that I want to show you. I always talk about my kit. So this is a first aid kit. I don't care where you are, what you're doing, if you're driving or if you're local, you need one of these. Now I got this. This is one of many from Walmart as well. And you will see that I have already started taking some items out. But I like this one because it comes with a hook. So if you are maybe like at a hotel or something, or if you're in the wilderness, you won't be at a hotel, so you can hang it up on a tree limb or something, but it has a hook on it. I like this one. It has everything that you need in it. Take out some of this stuff in here. A lot of this stuff I have not even taken out because we don't need it. Oh, this is an emergency blanket. Ta-da! So this is an emergency blanket. It comes in the first aid kit. If you go to Walmart in the camping section, you'll find one of these, or you might find a better one, but this one is more compact and it's not as big, so I kind of like these. And of course, my husband have tons of them, and so do I. So yeah, something that you need to keep, because this can stay in your car. You need to always have something in your car. I'm telling you, we never know what the next day is gonna bring. Now I'm dropping a lot of my stuff, so give me just a second here. All right. Okay, so we're done with page 1. Everything that we just went over is for page 1. And like I said, this is laminated. The reason why I laminated, because at that time, January 8th, 2020, I knew that if something were to happen, if it was just on a piece of flimsy paper, well, paper get wet and then it's destroyed and you can't really look at it. So it's durable. That was the goal at that time. You see how God does things? So the next page is page 2. So we're going to be talking about the prescription medications and over-the-counter. So, of course, if you have medication and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you pack that. We just went over the basic first aid kit. For the adults, because I mentioned children, so for us, have copies of your ID, photocopies of your ID, prepaid cards. If you need the deed to your house, I'm telling you, like, I really seriously have this stuff out here as a reminder for me, because in the privacy of my home and with friends and family, people that know me, we talk about these things, not every day, but it definitely came up a time or two, which is why I'm sharing it all with you. So passports, medical papers, and laminate, like I mentioned, laminate it. If you're watching this live stream and you're taking notes, just kind of jot everything down, take it and laminate it so that you'll have it, because when something happens, whenever things pop off, because we never know with the uncertainties of the way that the world is going, this is going to be in my bag. It's going to be in my bag. So, all items in a, yeah, so for these items, like your copies of your photo ID, debit cards, passport, medical papers, anything that's important to you, you can put it in a Ziploc bag, because a Ziploc bag is waterproof and you can waterproof your documents. A durable walkie-talkie, 20-mile radius. Now I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Here lately, as I've been driving on the interstate, there are dead zones. I don't know, because normally the dead zones are if you are in the country or something and you don't have service there. But I'm noticing more and more now as I'm driving, just kind of being aware, if I'm on a phone call and I'm in the city, there are dead zones. And so if they're dead zones and you have a cell phone, you can't talk anyway. So a walkie-talkie is something good, because if you get a walkie-talkie, of course, everything that I'm talking about are things more than likely Amazon have them. Again, you don't have to do everything at one time, but Amazon, they do have them, so you can purchase them from there. And everybody in your household get a walkie-talkie. I think that's a great idea, especially if you're trying to stay in communication with your family. And of course, I put get out of the city. You see that? Get out of the city. You got to get out of the city. If something were to happen and we all had to leave here, you have to get out of the city. You got to get out of the city. We can't stay here. But if you're staying in your home, then you would have the disaster supply kit. So now we're getting to the disaster supply kit. In case there's a power outage, have a generator. I do have one. We have a few. I don't actually have them with me in my hand, because when I got home, I literally started preparing for the live stream, but I have so much stuff that I didn't dig through the closet. A lot of the stuff I did bring out, but we do have a generator, and you can buy a generator at Walmart or you can buy one wherever, but ours is portable. We have a portable generator, so you can carry it with you. well, maybe not a generator, maybe it's called, I think it's still a generator. I have to ask my husband, but they're the portable ones that you can take, like if you're camping, you can take them with you. So there are 6 basic things that you need in your home. This is if you are staying in your house. The other stuff was just if you had to leave, but this is if you're staying in your home, these items here. Number 1, water. Use plastic bottles. 2, food, non-perishable food. Avoid foods that make you thirsty. Like me, no sweets. It's not the time for sweets. Now you can do, for the children, you can do comfort food for the children. Maybe things that they like, could be like lollipops or something like that. You can like have some of that stuff for the children, but essentially you don't want stuff that's gonna make you thirsty. Vitamins, I'm a stickler on vitamins. I make sure that everybody in the house take their vitamins, and I'm aware every day of the vitamins. First aid supplies, Band-Aids, if you don't have a kit, because if you have a kit, most of the stuff is in there, but a first aid supplies, so Band-Aids, peroxide, cotton swabs. Number 4, tools and emergency supplies. So tools is, what did I write here? Antiseptic. So again, if you have a first aid kit, you have some of that in there. Clothing and bedding. And the solar, if you have solar chargers. So we have the portable solar chargers. I believe everybody in our house have at least more than one. So the solar chargers, if you needed to, if you can still talk on your phone, you would need something to keep your phone charged if you're not at home. And even if you're home and there is no lights, well, then you would have the solar portable chargers so that you can plug your phone in. And then of course I put the comfort food there. And that's for the babies, the comfort food for the babies, or you too, if you want to do that. Keep items in a backpack or cooler because it's airtight in case of a flood. You might be able to get help in the early hours, but it can take days. So if it can take days, you may not be able to get help right away. What reminds me of that scenario is Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina, I was a little young. Well, very young. I was young. And when I saw people was in a detrimental space and trying to get out and get help, it took a long time before anyone could come in and rescue them. So even as a kid, seeing that, because sometimes you see things, especially if it's traumatic, it'll stay with you. And it was traumatic for me to watch the news, to see adults holding their babies and they're in the heat. The babies are crying, people were dehydrated, bodies were floating. I know it's very graphic, but I'm painting a mental picture because that's exactly what happened to me. And because of that, it made me think of things a little seriously, especially as I mentioned, the uncertainty and the times that we're in right now. So it can take days for someone to rescue you. So I wrote down a lot of the things that you may need. Antacids. That's like if you have heartburn. They have what they call medical charcoal. So the medical charcoal, I didn't have an experience with medical charcoal, but I do know if you do some research on it, that's if poison, like if you're took too many medications or something like that, that's what I think of. You might be able to use something like that. Utility knife. I don't have one, but my husband has several. So I can't show you the utility knife, but the one that my husband it has a screwdriver on it. It has a blade on it. and some other stuff. It has a lot of different things on it, so he can use it if we were out in the wilderness. He can use it to open a can. And then that's another thing too, if you were in the wilderness, you probably wouldn't want to buy canned goods that you have to open. I mean, my husband's Paul Bunyan, so he can get a knife and just open the can. Me, on the other hand, I probably would struggle, so I would probably buy the cans where you can pop the top and eat it out of the can. Now, would I try that sitting here? No. But if I'm in an emergency situation, I don't have a choice. Extra car and house keys, checkbook, ATM, or credit cards, $100 cash. So yesterday on my live stream, I did talk about cash. Just a smidget, not a whole lot. But I mentioned that is because if something happened and the banks shut down, that did actually happen before, where we were in, I believe it was a housing crash. Was it 2007? And I could be wrong, so if you're watching this and I'm incorrect, please let me know, because everything is researchable. But it was the housing crash. When the housing crash happened, there was a government shutdown and you couldn't go to the ATM to take your money out right away. Of course, it got fixed over time, but that's just like with Navy Federal. And what's been going on with like right now, you can research that as well. There was an outage. So if there's an outage, you can't use your debit card. So you would need to have some kind of cash. So I say $100 because $100 is a safe amount. So $100. And that's for each person. So if you're an adult, if it's 2 adults in the house, then each adult, I say $100 would be enough. Emergency radio. I put down machete or a knife, but I don't use a machete, but it's here. It's on the list. Now, I did purchase something from Amazon that I want to show you, because I do have it. Let me show you. It is called a life straw. I have a couple of them, but again, I just got one for the live stream, because if I brought all this stuff out, I would be here all day on this live stream. So this is what the emergency straw looks like. It's a life straw. And what you do with this, I'm going to take it out. What you do with it is, if we were out in the woods and you didn't have water per se. You didn't have water, well, now they're supposed to. I have not used them yet because we don't have a reason to use them, because thank God for the clean water. Just in case you didn't, this is what it looks like. You would be able to literally get the straw, put it in the water, and actually it has a filter here on the end. Let me show you the filter. Can you see that? There we go. It has a filter in it, built in. And you essentially are supposed to just put it in the water and just drink. Now, God knows that will be hard for me, because where we are right now, we have clean water and don't have to do that. But you can buy these on Amazon. I forgot how much I paid for it, but you can buy those on Amazon as well. And what else do I have over here? I believe that's all I have right now. But we went through page 2. So on page 3, this is a continuation of what we were just talking about. Invest in a good multi-tool. I talked about the multi-tool because my husband has one. A basic fire extinguisher. And this is if you're in home. Map of the area, evacuation route. So you would need the evacuation route. Now, normally, when there is a catastrophe and or some kind of bad weather, we'll use that. There are evacuation routes. In this case, because if everything is in an uproar, you won't really have time to do an evacuation. Well, wait for the media to do an evacuation. So you kind of would have to know where you are and know how to get out if you need to get out. We have a compass and a map. So I don't know about you, but I cannot use a map. I can get on my phone and I can Google. I can use the Google Maps or the maps that are in Apple, but I don't know how to read a map. So that might be something that we kind of do to learn how to read a map, because I cannot read a map. I have no idea. If something happened, God forbid, thank God for my husband, because I cannot, I have no idea. If I see the map, it's like, oh great, this is nice. Now where are we on this map? I got a little bit of experience of reading the maps. If you go to the mall, of course, when you're in the mall, there is a display of a map, and if you're in a certain area of the mall, so you can look at that, you can tell where you are, because there's a little star. You guys know what I'm talking about? Give me some hearts if you know what I'm talking about. But there's a little star there. You can kind of see where you are in the mall, and it tells you where to go. I can read those, but if I had to have an actual map and we're out on the highway, it probably would be a little bit difficult if I didn't have my phone to guide me. But I think my husband can read a map. Baby, can you read a map? He's just walking in. He's just walking in like, huh? Can you read a map, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So his answer was yes. He can read a map. He can read a map, but I can't read a map. Make sure that you have sanitation, like bar soap, liquid detergent, deodorant. And the women, we can create a feminine pack. Keep some bleach. I have bleach. We keep bleach in this house. Always keep bleach in this house. Okay, special items. I made a note for special items. Okay, that's probably stuff that's probably more so for me, because we talked about the prescription drugs. Of course, if you have babies, you want to make sure you have some baby formula and bottles, etc. Personal protection. I am not registered to carry yet, but that's something that I am going to embark upon this year, because my husband is licensed to carry and he knows how to use it. I need some classes in that area so that I can learn how to protect myself, because we need personal protection, right? If you're out there, you got to be able to ward off anyone who tries to steal your belongings. Because listen, when it becomes a catastrophe, and it will, we just don't know when. So when that time comes, when it is a catastrophe, people are going to be stealing your stuff. Even food is going to be a commodity. Yeah, food will be a commodity, because if you don't have the money to buy the food and someone else has food, well, you'd have to protect yourself. So pepper spray is on my list, because I have that. I carry pepper spray, but my husband would always say you can't bring a knife to a gunfight. So yeah, he always says that. But pepper spray. They have the self-defense flashlight, knives, large sticks, etc., and firearms. So my husband has those, and he wouldn't have to worry about that in that department. That's basically all of the stuff that I wrote down. And again, as I mentioned to you guys, this was January 8th, 2020. I was sitting at my desk in corporate America, and while I was sitting at my desk, I was listening to a pastor. It was very quiet that day. I remember that day very clearly. It was very quiet that day, and I was listening to this particular pastor, and he started talking about these things then at that time. And as he was talking, I started writing things down. And as I began to write things down, I did the lamination for the pages, and I put them away. Until recently, I said I wanted to go live. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and so after the conversation I had with my husband, I decided to go live and share things that I know with my YouTube family. Because I think sometimes when you are because you don't physically see what's happening, or nothing has happened. I'll say that because nothing has happened, I know I do. I tend to forget or kind of put it out of my mind, but it came back to the forefront of my mind. And then as it came back to the forefront of my mind, I started digging through my closet, and I don't know what my bun is doing. It looks a little crooked, but I started digging through my closet and I found a lot of the stuff that I had put away. And it made me realize, how prepared are you, Nicole? Because I'm not as prepared, although I have this list. So we do have things that I purchased and I just kind of put it away for a later time, but it made me realize that I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. So I hope this helped you. I hope that you can share this with someone, and I hope that there were some things in here that was striking and interesting to you. I don't know if anybody had any questions. I can kind of hang tight if you have questions or you want to talk about it in the chat. But that's kind of all that I had. And as I mentioned, I don't go live a whole lot. And usually when I go live, I want to be able to either give something to my audience, or if we're traveling or something, just to say hi. But I felt the need to go live and share this information with you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this live stream. If you are watching the replay and you're not subscribed to our family, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and let me know if this is something that you would like to talk about more in depth, because we can talk about it more in depth. Now, this is not the nature of my content. Typically, I do the shopping vlogs, we do mini travel, I do some cooking. That's the nature of the content that I have. But occasionally, just so you guys know, I'm not shallow. That's not all I do, right? But yeah, I do every now and then. I do a live stream like this because I know that it can help someone. So again, this is my list here, and I have 3 pages of it. I have 3 pages of it, front and back on this one. And if you need some guidance, like I said, or if this helped you, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys, and let me know where you are watching from. Okay, I think that is going to be the end of our live. I'm at about 38 minutes. 38 minutes, so I didn't do my hour quite yet, but there you go. So I'll probably go live again tomorrow. We probably won't talk about this topic. It'll be something different because I've been doing a series, Keeping the Momentum, and I've been adding all of my live streams in regards to this year, keeping the momentum. I am working on dieting, making sure that I'm healthy, eating better, exercising, just overall doing things for myself to better myself in every area that is spiritual, financially, mentally, physically, all of those things. So it's all in a little bubble, all in one. So I'll definitely be doing some more Keeping the Momentum content with you guys. I love you bunches. That is unfortunately going to be the end. And like I said, if you have any questions, or if you found this helpful, or if you like this type of content, let me know. Let me know, because I love to hear from you. All right, talk to you soon. Ciao.